Jennifer, thanks for joining us out here in beautiful Laguna Niguel.
Yeah, easy to be here with this location.
This is not a bad coming back out party.
Yes, it is a great first work trip.
So Explore Surgical, it's been at the forefront of the telehealth market for quite a few years now. Well done there. Very
Yeah, we got
impressive.
the timing just right, starting to do this in 2013. So who would have known it only took 7 years in a global pandemic for the market to get really, really excited.
Well, you had traction before
we did.
March
We
of
did.
20.
We did.
But what is the last 15 months done in regards to Explore Surgical?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible what's happened in the market. And, for us as a company, it was really scary in the beginning of COVID. So our business is so tied to elective procedures. So when elective procedures were canceled, we pretty much lost everything immediately. But for us, what's so exciting is that the industry has really embraced digital and has embraced virtual in a totally new light. And the silver lining of this pandemic is just the growth of this industry and the explosion of activity. And so for us, we finished 2020 6x over 2019, which was incredible. And there's no signs of slowing down, which is great.
Is it a behavior? Is it convenience? Is it life balance? Because I always love to explore behaviors.
Yeah.
Because they drive technology, really.
Yeah. So, I had a business school professor that once said nothing changes until something bad happens. And I think that's a bit of what happened, in light of the pandemic. And so traveling and flying around the globe simply to watch a procedure, prior to the COVID-19 situation was impractical, but then it became impossible. And that's the start to drive change. But what we saw as, things lingered on, and now at a point where a lot of people are vaccinated, you are able to return to hospitals, it really has become a behavioral shift. So at the end of the day, the physicians who are proctoring procedures, the clinical specialists who are shadowing, to learn a new approach or learn a new procedure, they're people too. And people want to sit at the dinner table next to their spouse, and they want to put their children to bed at night. And so people are choosing to travel when it's really valuable for them to be there in person. And there's nothing that can replace the in-person interaction, especially of an event like this, being able to see people in person and interact. But now there's just so many different opportunities to say, I can actually force multiply what I do. I can see more procedures, I can learn more, I can interact with more people, all from the convenience of being at home and being able to be my entire self as a person and spend time with my family too.
I don't know if it's confusing or it's such a broad highway of opportunity. Explore Proximy, Care Syntax, Avail, InTouch, which is now Teledoc. Are they all addressing different opportunities within that swim? It's not even a swim lane, swimming pool.
Maybe an ocean, if you will, of an opportunity. So you might as well use the analogy while we have it behind us.
I brought this here for you, by the way. Just
thank
for
you.
this, yeah.
Thank you. Lovely. I think there are definitely some shared opportunities that we're going after, but I think every company in the space has their own unique approach. For us, video is one component of what we do, but we really think about a broader digital surgery ecosystem with video being one pillar. So for us, the 3 pillars of Explore are, first, procedural workflow and digitizing best practices and making them available. Our second pillar is data collection and being able to crack open this black box of what actually happens in the room. And the third piece of it is connectivity. And you're seeing really interesting players and really interesting takes and approaches in all 3 of these categories.
You're also pretty active in the Femme Health marketplace, and I've got a special interest in that market. I know it's been around for years, but it's now starting to come to the forefront.
Finally,
yeah,
yes.
Different investment communities are rallying around that. We've got clients that have just come out of, I wouldn't say nowhere, but they have not been as front of line as they deserve to be. And you have Femme Health out of, I love this, Portfolio. Not Portfolio, but Portfolio.
Yes.
Love it. Head nod to the Latin base. And you've got a number of funds there in female health and wellness. Share thoughts on that, and what are you most interested in that area?
Yeah, so Portfolio was founded by a woman named Trish Costello, who was one of the CEOs of Kaufman Fellows and just a legendary venture capitalist. And she started Portfolio with the mission of getting more women to invest in the venture capital asset class. And so, all of our funds are made up of 249 LPs that are almost all women, which is fantastic. And I'm one of the general partners at their FemTech fund, and we're now investing out of Fund 2. And it's interesting, when Trish called me to be a partner for Fund 1, my first reaction was, I'm not an expert in women's health. I understand healthcare. I've been, a professional venture capitalist in healthcare, but I wouldn't say that I have this, huge expertise. And what she said to me was, that's the problem. Nobody thinks that they do. And nobody is an expert in women's health. And this is such a huge market, and it has been totally underserved and undercapitalized for decades, which, by the way, means that there's a ton of great companies that are out there that are starting to innovate that you can invest in at attractive valuations. And when we were investing FemTech Fund 1, which started in 2018, I think we were struggling to find companies to invest in. And now in Funds 2, we are inundated, and you're seeing this just incredible this whole ecosystem emerging. And so, I'm really interested in some of the things that are being done in telehealth. So I led an investment that we did in Nest Collaborative, which is a telehealth platform for IBCLCs for new moms. And I think as we started to see, there's still the same issues of connectivity that we talk about in surgery in other aspects of health. And a lot of women are underserved in terms of access to OBGYNs, in terms of access to PCPs. And so there's a lot that technology can solve. So I'd say I'm most interested in digital platforms and how to be able to provide more and better care at scale through the use of technology.
And what's interesting is I look at telehealth as having different focal points. You can look at the chronic health, managing that in the home. And then you could obviously look at the interoperative, in the OR. And then you can look at telehealth when it comes to, your primary care provider, meaning your clinician who you don't have to head to the office all the time. But it's fair to call pregnancy a 9-month chronic health practice. And so when you look at a mom or a mom soon to be, just based upon biology, females put everybody else first and themselves second. And I think telehealth provides a tremendous pathway to make sure that they are taken care of.
Huge, absolutely. So there's an incredible number of companies that are innovating in this space, and I think in the next 5-10 years, this area is really going to explode.
Yeah, and in my area of expertise in the search world, I am seeing, we've got some searches going on right now for female CEOs, and I am seeing the support, because they want female CEOs because it's Femme Health, the networking, the support, the tribalism, like the passionate support.
It is a tribe. It is a tribe.
I'm really excited about that, and we talk about diversity on so many other areas, but I've got this feel about the Femme Health market being a next forefront for the industry.
I think so.
Yeah. What didn't I ask you about Explora Surgical, or what else you've got going on your plate that I should have before I let you go? Any big events coming up for Explora? Are you keeping your eye on something in particular? Is there a tech here at LSI that you're going to be looking at, and why are you here in the first place? Beside the great weather from Chicago. I'm here to meet with a number of our customers who are here, with investors, as well as just kind of general networking. There's a lot that is happening in this digital surgery ecosystem, a number of companies that are here, and so excited to be here, with some of my fellow CEOs. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out and sharing the Explora Surgical story and yours as well. Absolutely. Thanks so much. I'm Joe Mullings from LSI. Be well.